this meeting there. Let's have a listen.
Academy is people who are supposed to provide support for stability. Two very important things. One is the aspirations of citizens. What do citizens aspire for? What citizens want? And the second is the expectations of citizens. What do citizens expect? And so if we base these two factors on this and bring in the issue of leadership, then we can, as a nation or as a community of nations, be able to understand and look at how we can bridge this, because people, Kenyans or citizens of the world, aspire to live in a peaceful environment, to be able to run their businesses, to be able to conduct their affairs in an uninterrupted way. That's what they expect. And they expect their governments to provide that security for them to be able to prosper, for them to be able to develop. And so that is the aspiration, they want, the need of the citizens. And so people need peace. People need to conduct their businesses the best possible environment. And so, if the expectations are met, then you are going to have peace. If the aspirations are met, and if the expectation of their government or whomever is providing their security, then they will live in peace. But if that is interrupted, and then I want to suggest, Professor, that in the 21st century, we must avoid lamentation. We must avoid lamenting. We should start saying what is there, how we can tackle it. We have a habit of lamenting, of looking back. Sometimes we blame colonialism. Colonialism has gone 70 years ago, 50 years ago. This generation in this room are born after colonialism has ended. And yet we are still going back to lament, it is because the Wazungus or they have done this, and it's our own mistake and our own weaknesses. So this conference is very timely because it comes at a time when we are preparing as a country for the scheduled election of 8th of August. With the impending general election, we are experiencing violence in places that were traditionally non-violent. Kenyans are aware that they do not have another country to run into should animosity erupt or anarchy erupt. We must all work to remain united, peaceful, cohesive, irrespective of our social, cultural, and political diversity. Peace building, social cohesion, and promotion of national values is about bearing hope, aspirations, and confronting fears and prejudices. We must realize that national cohesion and national values cannot be achieved single-handedly, but through collaboration and building partnership with various stakeholders. It requires the support and input of all of us. The government has put in place security system and structures to ensure that the country, its citizens, and their property are secure before, during, and after the general election. We will ensure that it's not only during the election, that citizens and their property are secure, but at all times. However, it is the responsibility of all of us as Kenyans, more so political leaders across the political divide, to preach peace during electioneering period. Leadership is a key determinant in the stability of our country, and the impact of such leadership is demonstrated not only during this period, but also in the extent to which our political leaders promise to promote cohesion and peace. There are many ways of looking at the causes of peace in our country today. Peace and security are two overlapping concepts. It is not possible to think of peace without thinking of security. To protect the state from various threats, leaders must have vision on the type of the country they want. Leaders tend to have capacity to analyze core national interests and ability to defend and promote fairness in running the affairs of the state based on the Constitution. Leaders have to work constantly in order to maintain peace and stability of our country. We need to have institutions, shared values, acceptable policies, and operating system in place to guarantee peace and security. This forum, therefore, is very timely because the idea of engaging in dialogue on peaceful intervention for sustainable development in the contemporary society, and especially in Kenya today, cannot be overemphasized. We are aware that peace and security are vital requirements for social and economic development, as well as the effective democratic governance. Therefore, the integration of peace, security, and social enterprise as the agenda of discussion during this conference cannot be overemphasized. This is more so because emerging security dynamics and social economic challenges have made many of our youth vulnerable and easy target of unlawful criminal groups that take advantage of the vulnerability and ignorance of our young people. In light of this, the creation of social enterprise through innovation, creativity, and mentorship opportunity, particularly by institutions of higher learning, will promote barricade against radicalization of our youth into terrorism and other criminal activities. Social enterprise is a vital driving force in the growth of any economy. Hence, the reason behind the government of Kenya commitment towards youth empowerment in the Vision 2030. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, maintaining peace and security requires concerted effort at individual, communal, and organizational levels. We appreciate the pivotal role that academics play in resolving societal trend needs. Although academics have been said to pay more attention to teaching than conducting research, this conference provides space for others to evaluate a myriad of impediments to the effective attainment of peace, security, and social enterprise in our country and the whole region. Such innovation can help address specific inhibitors to peace and security, such as social exclusion, poverty, crime, and substantial level of inequalities, among others. Additionally, research findings and recommendations can help introduce new answers to social problems where conventional approaches have not allowed solutions. I commend Mount Kenya University and their partners for making this conference possible. I am happy to note that one of the key partners of this conference is the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, a commission mandated by the government of Kenya to advance peace and cohesion of our nation. I also recognize African Cyberspace Network, who partnered with you in organizing a cyber crime security session in this conference. Indeed, cybercrime is a new crime phenomenon that requires our concerted effort to combat and defeat. Last but not least, I commend the Nation Media Group for its great role as a partner in this conference. Although I want to maybe also my personal comment on the media, and I would like to echo Professor Lumumba, and I'm so happy that Tom is here, that sometime our media is not patriotic, or rather most of the time, if I can put it in that way. The media tend to be bipartisan. And I think as a professional institution, you advance the interests of the nation. You should be patriotic, you should speak the truth, you should be fair, you should be just, and you should be there to advance the interests of the nation, of the individual, because our media, as it stands today, it has been corrupted. And I have to say this, because we know the media has been bought to advance some interests which are not true. So we want also the media, we urge the media to be more patriotic, more open, more frank, more honest, and more genuine and more just. So I want you, as a media owner, to talk to your colleagues. Tell them, we also observing you. Although you have the opportunity to write whatever you want to write, but Kenyan understand and know occasionally you are not meeting the expectation of citizens. And so since this is a meeting of minds, it's good for us to tell you also your shortcomings so you can also go and rectify. I am not accusing you, I'm just giving you an advice where necessary. But if you want to, it is a position from my point of view. You see, and this is, we are talking about peace. You can see an individual who is actually inciting Kenyans, and the media continue to propagate, to report that message, instead of telling the country this individual is actually making a war cry. When you see people waving placard in a political rally saying, in our party we have 10 million people. Why did they count the 10 million people? Where? When you say, somebody say, if IEBC is not going to withdraw the case from the court, we are going to conduct mass action. And the media continues to do that. They should kill such stories because they have no meaning for Kenyans. And I want you, Tom, to look at the patriotism level of this nation so that we can serve our country. We are headed in the election in another less than 80 days, and we want the media now to play a critical role in ensuring that those who incite Kenya must be exposed so that our nation, our young people live in peace. So I want to commend you for being in this, to be a partner of this conference. And you are doing a remarkable job in this conference, but you should also do a remarkable job, the whole media outside, to make sure that Kenyans get the right, the truth, and nothing but the truth. I wish, therefore, to urge other organizations and universities to join hands in similar circumstances as seek local and context-specific solutions towards sustainable peace, national stability, and social development of our people. Additionally, universities should be on the forefront in inculcating national values such as patriotism, integrity, honesty, and respect for the rule of law. The government applauds individuals who embrace the culture of peace and security. Consequently, I urge all Kenyans to be ambassadors of peace all time, particularly before, during, and after the forthcoming election. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I am fully convinced that this conference will contribute significantly towards policy development and will be a permanent hallmark towards the attainment of peace and security for sustainable development in Kenya and Africa. I wish all delegates and participants fruitful deliberation and a memorable and peaceful stay in Kenya, as it is now my pleasure to declare this very, very important conference officially launched. Thank you very much.
Interior CS Joseph Nkaissery there concluding his remarks at the Safari Park as he officially launched, or rather opened, the peace conference there.